president today, and I would officially like to call this meeting to order. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all our guests, and we sincerely hope you will enjoy and learn from this experience. The Future Leaders Gavel Club is a Toastmasters club open to middle and high school students, in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Each meeting has 3 parts. The first part of our meeting is the prepared speech section, in which members take the time to prepare a speech and deliver it to the club. The second part of our meeting is the table topic session, where members and guests can participate to practice and improve their impromptu speaking skills by answering questions given by the table topics master with 1 to 2 minute responses. The final part of our meeting is the evaluation portion, where speech evaluators provide feedback on the prepared speeches. Additionally, the functionaries will deliver the reports to help everyone enhance their public speaking skills. To start our meeting tonight, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the night, who will be Rachel, who will be guiding us through each segment. Please help me welcome Rachel.
Thank you, Interim President Angelina. I guess we will start with the functionaries first. First, I'd like to call on the au counter. Rachel, will you please tell us about the au counter role? Thank you, Toastmaster Rachel. As the au counter, I will be keeping track of any inappropriate interjections, such as or any excessive pauses from anyone who speaks during the meeting. Thank you, Rachel. Now we will be calling on the grammarian, who tonight is Eliana. Is Eliana here?
Oh yeah, just trying to find the document.
It's okay.
Oh. As the grammarian, I will listen for the word of the day, which is slovenly, which means untidy and dirty, especially in appearance. I encourage anyone speaking during the day, during any part of the meeting, to use it. Throughout the meeting, I will listen to everyone's word usage and write down any awkward use or misuse of the language. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliana. And now we will be moving on to the timer's not the timer's report. The timer, who is William.
Thank you for the introduction, Toastmaster Rachel. As the timer, I will monitor time for each speaker. Throughout the meeting, I will be listening carefully to every program participant and signal them. I will use the green background. My mouse, for some reason, is not showing up, so I have to make sure that I'm hovering over the right virtual background. There we go. I will use green at the minimum required time, yellow at the middle of the expected time, and red, hello, red at the end of the allotted or agreed upon time. I will also record each participant's name and actual time used. Thank you. Apologies for the technical difficulties, and back to you, Toastmaster Rachel.
Thank you, William, and it's okay to have technical difficulties. Now we will be moving on to the general evaluator, who tonight is not here. Is this also me? I mean, there's not much of a difference between Toastmaster and general evaluator. Okay, so I'm the self-appointed general evaluator. As the general evaluator, I will be providing an evaluation of the evaluation portion of the meeting and the functionary reports, and as well as providing an evaluation of the meeting as a whole. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Rachel. Thank you, General Evaluator Rachel. Now we will be moving on to the prepared speech portion of the meeting, and our first speech will be given by Caleb. His speech title is Got Talent, and his speech introduction is Got Talent. Take it away, Caleb.
Do you know something that every single one of you have? It's called talent. I want to ask each one of you right now, what is your talent? Let me know in the chat or out loud. Talent, it could be something that you're good at or something you enjoy or both. Let me know in the chat. What is your talent? What is your talent? Soccer? Maybe you think you don't have a talent, but there's something you enjoy, something that you're good at. Chess, piano, music, acting and being weird, yapping too much, swimming, volleyball, gaming, all of these are great talents. Now let me ask you all a question for you to think about. Are you sharing your talents? Because if you've got talent, share it. 4 years ago, I was sitting in a restaurant. The pandemic was ending and slowly things were starting to start back up. I was hangry. On one hand, I was really hungry. And on the other hand, I was upset that my youth orchestra hadn't started back up. I felt frustrated that I didn't have anywhere to play my cello. As I discussed my frustration with my parents and enjoyed my dinner, I noticed a familiar figure walk into the restaurant. The director of my church orchestra and his family. I walked over and said hi, because I hadn't seen them in person for nearly 2 years. So after catching up, he asked me what I was doing with my cello. I explained to him that my youth orchestra hadn't started back up even though we were almost out of COVID. And he told me, join the church orchestra. The music shouldn't be too hard for you. And after all, we're going to be rehearsing this Sunday. So I agreed. I showed up to the rehearsal, and I surprised myself. After playing cello for only 3 years, I was able to read the music and play fairly well. I was also proud. I was the principal cellist of the church orchestra, since I was the only cellist there. I've shared my talent playing in the church orchestra now for the past 4 years. And when my youth orchestra finally started back up, I played there too. I would also play at recital opportunities that came up. Now, after one recital, a friend told me about the music therapy program at the hospital and how she had been participating in it for a few months and what a great experience it had been. So I decided to become one of their music therapy volunteers, where I now also volunteer every week, playing music in the hospital lobby. I remember on one particular day, I played cello like usual in the lobby. This day, sitting in the lobby was a lady who had closed her eyes as I played some soothing pieces on the cello. When I stopped for a water break, she looked me in the eyes and told me, I've been so stressed these past 2 days that I haven't been able to sleep. But just now, listening to you play, I was finally able to sleep. That moment had a profound impact on me. I had made a difference in her life simply by sharing my talents. And she wasn't the only one. There were others like her who had appreciated hearing music at these very difficult times in their lives. Playing for people at the hospital helped me see that music calms, heals, and brings joy. I was now open to sharing my gift with others. Now, I just needed to find more opportunities. I was reminded by the words of Jesus in the book of Matthew, that the greatest among you shall be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. I started playing at events like funerals and weddings. A mentor once told me that music gives people permission to cry. And at one particular funeral, I received a $500 donation towards a non-profit music school where I take lessons. Another time, when an elderly man who sits behind us in church hadn't come for several weeks, we asked his wife and she told us that his health hadn't been strong enough to come. I offered to give him a special concert at his house. And a few days later, I was in his living room playing a special concert just for him and his wife. I can still remember his broad smile every time I finished playing a piece. And he was also a pianist and accompanied me playing Amazing Grace. After the concert, I went home happy. Yet there was a surprise in store. The following Sunday at church, I was shocked to see him back sitting behind us, and he had a broad smile on his face. I went up to him and shook his hand, while his wife, with tears in her eyes, thanked me for giving him a private concert. Now, even though music can touch the lives of listeners, I also combine my musical talent and leadership skills to fundraise for our youth orchestra. In a fundraiser titled Caleb and Friends, we were able to raise over $4,000 in a concert to purchase 36 brand new music stands for the youth symphony. But now that I have shared some of my story, I want you to think about your talent, because it doesn't have to be music. It can be something you enjoy. Maybe you like math. Maybe you're a good athlete. Maybe you simply like encouraging others. If you've got talent, share it. You could ask an elementary school if they could use your help for any struggling students as a math or writing tutor. Maybe you can coach younger kids in your community on a particular sport. Whatever you are and wherever you are, there are plenty of opportunities to serve. So here are a few tips that I have learned over the years on how to maximize every opportunity. Number 1, be efficient and responsive. Answer emails and messages quickly. This one tip is key and is very important. The second tip is to be warm and approachable. Kindness and enthusiasm matter. Always dress professionally in public. And 3, be open to small talk and making connections. You never know who you might meet. Because it doesn't matter how small an opportunity is. One opportunity can lead to another. For example, volunteering at the hospital led me to be asked to play at a volunteer luncheon. From that volunteer luncheon, I was asked to play at an awards event for the hospital employees. And from that, I was asked to play at a formal dinner for the hospital foundation, honoring the hospital's top donors at a beautiful hotel. In fact, last week, I had the honor of playing at a luncheon sponsored by the Los Angeles County to honor foster care parents. You never know where your talent might take you, as long as you are open to serve. Are you sharing your talents? Maybe it's time to step out and serve, because there is always someone, somewhere, who needs your talents. Remember that the greatest among you shall be a servant. Got talent? Share it. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Caleb, for that inspiring speech that we can all learn from. And I think we all have a talent that we could use to serve God's creation. Our second speech will be given by Janya, and her speech title is My Unexpected Journey in Badminton. Without further ado, take it away, Janya.
Thank you, Rachel. My unexpected journey in badminton. Good evening, fellow Gaveliers and Toastmasters. Today, I want to share a story not just about badminton, but about how life sometimes takes us in directions we never planned. I was introduced to badminton in grade 3, if I can think about it right, by my parents. But it wasn't until grade 9 that I truly understood the game, the rules, the strategies, and the excitement of competition. When the badminton season at my school, or in my city, Burnaby, started, tryouts were announced. I wasn't going to play. I didn't see the point. I assumed that I wasn't gonna make the team, so why bother? But then my friend suggested that I should go anyway, that I should try. That day, I did not have my racket with me. Still, I decided to go by borrowing another friend's racket, just so I could spend more time with my friend and that I could get a chance to play with her. I wasn't expecting anything more at that point. When I was called in by one of the student managers in the tryouts, And then by one of the coaches, I felt this nerve. I knew I wouldn't make the team, but there was still that tension, that tiny spark of hope. When I was called in by the team manager and the coach, I felt a rush of nerve. I knew I wouldn't make the team, but there was uh, something. It was something unexpected, a feeling I cannot describe. And then soon after my turn, I went to sit down as I was very tired. And then they announced that there was a second round for tryouts. And that made me even scared. I was tense. There was no hope in me, but there was tension. Then soon after, I was called again. And this time, I was told that I was selected, though only as a spare. Even though I wasn't a core player, I was thrilled. It was an opportunity I hadn't expected. And I couldn't wait to be part of the team. To make things even better, my friend made it in too. Soon, the season officially began. We had practices about 2 weeks, 2 days in a week, and 2 other days of a week were for games. Making badminton a major part of my weekly routine, it took 4 days of my four of my working days, which was really packed for the whole season, which was sadly only 2 months. But despite only being a spare, it was an amazing experience. I might not be good at badminton yet, but throughout the season, I got better, learned a lot, and most importantly, had fun. Looking back, I realized that sometimes we don't need a grand plan or a strong ambition to end up in the right place. We never set out to join the team, but just to show up and go with the flow. I found myself a part of something that was really meaningful. And this is the beauty of life. It surprises us when we least expect it to. Thank you, and back to you, Rachel.
Thank you for that very inspiring speech. I thought the meaning was very, very profound, and I think we can all learn from that because you never know where life is going to take you. Now we will be moving on to the table topic session, which will be led by Devin, and judging by the agenda, the theme is If I Were. Take it away, Devin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachel. And today, as Rachel introduced, our table topic theme is If I Were, which is a fun and imaginative topic where we might even be able to step into our new dreams. So let's begin. For our first question, which is for Caleb. If you were a time traveler, would you visit the past or the future? Why? Caleb, take it away.
Tomorrow morning, I will be walking into a school to take my statistics exam, my advanced placement AP statistics exam. Now, I've studied so hard, and I know that I'm going to do well. I got a 5 on the practice exam. But there's always a question of what will be on that test. If I could time travel, I would time travel to 48 hours from today, when the results and the test questions are going to be released to the public. So everyone will be able to see what were the test questions. But of course, I need the test questions now so I can see what the questions are going to be. If I could time travel somewhere, I would choose the future. Because if I travel to the past, it would create too many parallaxes and weird things that you never know what might happen. But if I travel into the future, it would be a safe bet because I don't know what's going to be in the future, but I know I hopefully won't be messing something up in the past. And therefore, if I could time travel, I would time travel to 48 hours from today when I can see what questions are on the AP Statistics exam. Please wish me luck tomorrow as I take the exam. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Caleb, for that fascinating answer. And I'll definitely give you all the luck. And I think I would probably do the same too. For our next question, which is for Rachel, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be and how would you use it?
If I were a superhero, what would my power be and how I would use it? This is a very difficult question because there's so much we would like to do if we could, and there's so much we'd like to change. But you need to be careful with what you want to change. So if I had a superpower, it would be the ability to make everyone around me feel like they're socially accepted because self-acceptance is really important to me, and there are so many people like myself who struggle with being themselves in public or like feeling comfortable being themselves in public, and they worry too much about what everyone else is going to think. And that's one problem that I really think would be good to fix because nobody deserves to spend their whole life worrying about how other people are going to judge them. So if I had this power, I wouldn't make people stop judging because that's not how the world works. I would only use this power to help people be more confident in themselves because the only person that's going to help you become more confident is yourself, and I would supernaturally help people have that confidence. I'm not tampering with anything. I'm just using my abilities to encourage others in a completely reasonable way. Thank you, and back to you.
Great answer, Rachel. I really liked how creative your answer was and how do you use your power for good as well. For our third question of the day, which is for Ethan, if you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? Ethan, take it away.
Now, I have actually been asked this question before by somebody else, and they were rather surprised by my answer. So let's see how you all will react to my answer. So let's see how you guys will all react. Now, if I were to become an animal, the animal I would most want to be is a mantis shrimp. Now, some of you may be wondering why I would want to be a shrimp, and some of you might even be wondering, what the heck is a mantis shrimp? Why is it called a mantis shrimp in the first place? You see, despite the fact that they are in fact shrimps, mantis shrimps are some of the coolest animals in the animal kingdom. As Andrew is correctly identified in the chat, they have some of the strongest punches in the animal kingdom. Their arms are in fact, highly specialized mineralized clubs, which they can accelerate with accelerations comparable to the bullets being fired out of a gun, which endows them with great power that they can use to shatter quite literally almost anything, including glass. But that's not the coolest part of a mantis shrimp. I am a firm believer that I am a firm believer that just because we were only given the ability to see the electromagnetic spectrum from 700 nanometers to 400 nanometers, doesn't mean that we should try to see more of it, because it is only through expanding our ability to see across all wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum that science and modern technology has gotten as far as it has. And this is one of the main reasons I would like to be a mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimps have some of the most complex visual systems on the entire animal kingdom. As you may know, humans have 3 cone cells that we can use to see colors. So we're trichromats. Guess how many cone cells a mantis shrimp has? 12. 4 times more than our measly trichromatic vision. They also have the ability to perceive polarized light, both linearly and circularly. They can even see somewhat into the UV and into the infrared ranges, which makes their visual systems possibly one of the greatest on planet Earth, because not only can they see more of the electromagnetic spectrum than us, but they can also see properties of light, such as polarization, that we need special technology to readily perceive. And that is why, if I were to become an animal, I would become the mantis shrimp. Back to you, Devin.
Honestly, I was also amazed by your response, Ethan. I can totally picture you as the animal, and I really love your explanation too. For our next question, which is for our guest, Howard, if you were a teacher for one day, what subject would you teach and how would you make it fun?
I would say I would actually be a math teacher if I could be a teacher for a day, due to the fact most people think math is like a boring subject. Like it has a reputation of being hard, of making people cry often, and they've might have said, "Oh, math is one of the hardest subjects. There's no way you can make it fun." But one of the things I love about math is that it's actually really fun. If you look at it the right way, math isn't just a question. It's not just an obstacle you have to go through every day. Math can be something you work towards. It could be a puzzle. Take what people like to do. People, I guess, like to play video games. Video games, I feel like one of the best things about video games are like the puzzle part of it. There's a challenge, there's a struggle, and you have to try to go through that struggle. But it's the same thing with math. You want to try to unpack a problem, try to solve a equation. So if I were a teacher, I would try to teach math, and making it fun, I would feel like, is showing them aspects of math they have never seen before, such as like why there's 3.14 why 3.14 times the diameter equals the circumference or something like that. That I would teach them, I would want to show them how math is actually very fun. Thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Harvard, for that fantastic response. You literally nailed it, and I think it's your second or third response. I definitely want to be in your class. For our fifth question, which is for our guest, Ethan, if you were a type of weather, like rain, wind, or lightning, what would you be and what would you do? Ethan, take it away.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Sure. My bad, maybe I said too quickly. If you were a type of weather, like rain, wind, or lightning, what would you be and what would you do?
I would probably be rain. I would probably be rain, and I would take the form of a rain cloud, and I could just watch above as I rain across all of the enormous fields and fertilize the crops and bringing prosperity to the people around the world. And then after I rain down and fertilize and then help grow plants, I could just evaporate and then be a cloud again. Oh.
Thank you, Ethan, for that response. I really liked how you described your answer, and it was creative and made a lot of sense. For our next question, which is for our guest, Henry, If you could become a character from a book, who would you choose and why? Henry, take it away.
That's a hard question. I've read a lot of books, but I'm maybe Peter Miller from the Hunger Games, because I think the author actually wrote this character pretty well. He plays a pretty central role in the story, and also he gets to do a bunch of cool stuff. So yeah.
Awesome answer, Henry. Even though it's hard, you still got it fantastically. I could see why you chose this character. Great reasoning and amazing delivery. Delivery. For our seventh question, which is for our guest, Selena. If you were the principal of your school, what new rule would you create to make school more fun?
If I were the principal of the school, I would add more school spirit activities. We could have more carnivals and games to improve the overall spirit of the school, and maybe stop the dress code rules because some of them are unfair. I would also add more I would also add more fun days at lunch because I feel that more schools should have that. I also think that when we're at school, we should have a posture check so we don't have sovereignly posture while we're going through class, and have more fun-based lessons to have more class engagement. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Selena, and I really loved the answer. I think every student would vote for your rule, and I'm sure you'd probably be the greatest principal any kids could ask for. And for our final question of the day, which is for Janya. If you were an alien visiting Earth for the first time, what would you think about humans? The stage is yours, Janya.
I'm an alien, and I just got out of my spaceship. And these people are just walking in front of me, not realizing I look different from them. I have 3 eyes, while they have only 2. That's a major difference. But they still just walk by, which is very shocking to me, as if one of these Earth people would come to our planet would look at them as they are monsters. But these people have this device and the headphones, and they just walk past the road. They did not notice me, which is very sad because I want to be noticed in a different planet. I think the people are very unnoticeable and not observant as much as I thought they were. And they are very busy, with their busy schedules. And I think it just feels like a jungle, a forest filled with dense people. Thank you, and back to you, Devin.
Yeah, sorry, my mic is having a little problem. Awesome response, Janya. Super fun and thoughtful. I definitely agree with what you explained. And I would say for our final questions, which is for Andrew. If your best friends if your best friends cheated on a quiz and asked you not to tell, what do you do?
This is very similar to the classical train track dilemma. Well, if I told on him, it would actively like harm him, and I chose to do that. And also, but if I don't tell him, I didn't do anything wrong. he still cheated, but at least I wasn't impacted. Still want to be friends with him, but it really depends on the severity of his actions. Because on one side, if I tell him, he might get angry at me and we might not be friends. The other side, what will happen if I don't tell him? He'll obviously cheat. And he might continue cheating, and then that might have negative impacts on him in the future. So I feel like it's really the severity of his actions, and also like, do I like also like what he does in the future? Because if he continues like cheating like this, I feel like it's gonna harm him in the long run. So I feel like giving him a warning is best, because telling on him and then getting him in trouble and then essentially like making him fail the test isn't exactly good. But also letting him continue cheating in his life isn't also has a negative impact on him. So I feel like I'll just give him a warning, and if he continues to do it, I'll have to tell on him. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and great response. For me, I also don't really know what to do as well. Probably warning him, that's might be the great deal. Yeah. So, and that being said, those are all the table topics questions we've got today. Thank you all for participating. And now back to you, Toastmaster Rachel.
Thank you, Devin, for that table topic session. We all really enjoyed it, and a lot of the questions were thought-provoking and some of them were funny. Now we will be moving on to the general evaluation portion of the meeting. I'm going to turn the control over to General Evaluator Rachel. Our first speech evaluator is Kara, who will be evaluating Caleb's speech. Take it away, Kara.
Caleb, congratulations on a very well-written and well-delivered speech. First, I will be going over what you did well, and then I will be talking about just one improvement that you could focus on in the future. First of all, things you did well included being professional right from the start. Before you even opened your mouth, we could see that you were standing up, dressed the opposite of slovenly, and you had a clean virtual background, making you look extremely professional. As you went on, I also noticed that you had pretty good facial expressions throughout. I know that when people are thinking about what they want to say or trying to remember what they memorized, their faces can kind of go blank sometimes. And I noticed that this never really happened for you, and you were very obviously well prepared and fully present the entire time. So well done in that regard. Finally, I noticed that your message was simple but very well written and well presented. And I liked that you included many personal anecdotes, and I liked the very nice message of using your talents in a meaningful way. As for what you could improve, I thought that while your speech was very good and professional, as I mentioned, if you really want to hit the highest highs as a speaker that you possibly can, I think you could possibly consider being a little bit less professional. And what I mean by that is, as a speaker, you are essentially performing, and you really want to do your best to capture your audience. So I noticed that you had a pleasant and calming voice throughout, and your pace was also similarly pretty calming. And while you don't have vocal variety, I think it could be increased even more. I believe your message was meant to be inspiring, so for inspiration, you could try to hit the most emotional extremes. For example, for your most emotionally impactful moments, you could show this by slowing down even more and then quickly follow it up and create contrast by maybe endowing your audience with some energy in some points and really put the passion in them to do as you're asking them to do in the speech. But overall, your speech was incredibly clean and had a great story and message. So if you just improve this one thing, then I think you'll be an even more outstanding speaker. Back to you, General Evaluator Rachel.
Thank you, Kara, for that very constructive evaluation. And that was definitely really good feedback. Less professional. Less professional can be more relatable. Now we will be moving on to the second evaluation, which will be given by Angelina, and she'll be evaluating Johnny's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rachel. So, Janya, congratulations on yet another great speech. So, the first thing I noticed was your hook. You had a very good hook when you said that you were not going to give a speech just about badminton, but you were going to give a speech about how life may not always take you in the direction you expected. That was a great hook that got me hooked. And also, I think that really also predicted how your speech was going to go and what your speech was going to talk about. Additionally, you had good use of pauses. You paused whenever you were talking about tryouts, which emphasized the tension that you felt during those tryouts. You also had a lot of good language. For example, when you said that you only had a tiny spark of hope when you were trying out for the badminton team. And you also said that after you got into the badminton team, you found yourself a part of something meaningful to you, which is a really important thing because your speech is about badminton and how it took you in a different direction. Now, some suggestions I have for you are you can try to improve your vocal variety a bit. I noticed that during your speech, you had a very monotone voice and you did not have much vocal variety. So I would suggest in places where you're talking about that where you had no hope of getting into the badminton team, you could use a quieter voice. And when you find out that you actually made the team, you could talk in a louder and more excited voice. This will emphasize the fact that you really unexpected this outcome. Additionally, you can try also improving your gestures a bit. I did like that you were standing and I could see your gestures very well, but I noticed that when you were speaking, your gestures mainly stayed the same and you also seemed a bit stiff. So for this, I would suggest using bigger gestures, such in areas where you talk about finding out that you got into the team, especially with your friend, and using smaller gestures when you talk about not having any hope to get into the team, which would also emphasize that you did not expect the outcome that you got. Lastly, I also think that you had a very good vocal pace and you knew what speed to speak at so that you would not stutter as much. And you did not repeat any phrases and you never spoke too fast, so your voice was always clear and the audience and I was able to easily understand what you were saying. So with that, I think that your speech was very good overall and I can definitely see improvement from your last speeches. So congratulations again, Janya. Thank you, and back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Angelina, for that evaluation. You definitely gave Johnny a really good feedback. Now we will be proceeding to the functionary reports. And the first person I'm calling on is I'll counter Rachel. Thank you, General Evaluator Rachel. There weren't that many crutches in this meeting. Everyone tended to speak very fluently, except for maybe myself. If I was keeping track of my own crutch words, let's not even go there. Speaker 1, Caleb, I heard no crutch words at all. Yeah, I didn't hear any. Speaker 2, Janya, I heard two uhs, two pauses, and a few stutters. Pauses are good though, and you had quite a few like pauses that were suitable to the speech. Table topic speaker Devin, I didn't hear anything. For table topic speaker 1, Caleb, and table topic speaker 3, Ethan, I didn't hear any crutches. Table topic speaker 4, Howard, I heard 1 like. For table topic speaker 5, the other Ethan, I heard 6 repeats. For table topic speaker 6, Henry, I heard 1 repeat and 1 pause. For Selena, I heard 1 like. For Johnny, I heard 1 and for Andrew, I didn't hear anything, but for evaluator 1, Kara, I heard 1 I believe, and for evaluator 2, Angelina, I didn't catch anything. We all did pretty well in this meeting, except for me. Thank you, all counselor Rachel. Now we will be moving on to the grammarian report, which will be given by Eliana.
Thank you, Rachel. So everyone had pretty good grammar today, and I heard a lot of good phrases. For speaker 1, Caleb, I liked how you said, got talent, share it a couple times, and you used some verses and quotes, and you had no awkward grammar. Speaker 2, Janya, you said even scared, which should be even more scared, and nothing else. Table topics, Master Devin, you said give you all the luck, which should be wish you good luck or just good luck. Table topic speaker 1, Caleb, no awkward grammar. Same with table topic speaker 2, Rachel. Table topic speaker 3, Ethan, you had a good simile, like a bullet coming out of a gun, so that was good. Table topic speaker 4, I didn't hear anything. Table topic speaker 5, the second Ethan, no awkward grammar as well. Table topic speaker 6, Henry, nothing awkward. Selena, you said something about shrimp posture, which I think that's what I heard. So that's interesting, maybe because a shrimp curls up or something. Table topic speaker Janya 8, Janya. No, wait. Oh yeah, you said dense people, which could be right, but maybe it's better like dense crowd. Table topic speaker 9, Andrew. I didn't hear anything. Speech evaluator 1, Kara, you used the word of the day, so that was good. And the only thing I heard was you used possibly 2 times in a sentence, like 1 in front of a verb and then 1 after it. So that sounded a little awkward. And speech evaluator 2, Angelina, I didn't hear anything. And general evaluator Rachel, you said constructive, which is a good strong word. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Eliana, for that grammarian report, and we will be moving on to William's timer report. Take it away, William.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rachel. I'd like to just give a quick side note before I begin timing myself. I'd first like to say that overall in this meeting, all of you have very good timing, just a few overtimes and a few undertimes, but really that's not much to worry about. But we'll see if that upholds after my report. So here goes. And to keep me accountable, let me try this, because the past few times that I've done this, all of you know what happens to my functionary report. I still go over time. So today, I am vowing to share my screen so all of you can see me time myself. Ready? Future leaders, great job on all of your speeches. And for everyone who spoke, you really did do a good job of controlling the time. Whether that was you giving a prepared speech or a table topic speech or one of our functionaries or evaluators at the end. Caleb, I'd first like to commend you on your great speech about finding talent. I think that's something that we all struggle with from time to time, but it's so necessary. You had a time of 7 minutes and 5 seconds, right over the 7 minute limit, but that would not count for a DQ in a formal speech contest. So great job. Janya, your speech about trying new things and your experience on the badminton team was 5 minutes and 13 seconds, a little on the shorter side, but within the allotted time. Moving on to table topic speaker one, Caleb, you had a time of 1 minute, 20 seconds. Very good timing. Rachel had a time of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Oh my gosh, I'm already almost over time. Rachel, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Ethan Ethan Lee Sr., 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Howard, 1 minute and 31 seconds. Ethan Lee Jr., 33 seconds. So here, some of our guests, I'd first like to commend you on your great table topics responses, especially since this is like your first or second time speaking here at a youth Gavel Club meeting. But I would like to just give a quick friendly reminder that typically you're trying to aim for a time between 1 minute and 2 minutes for all table topic speeches. So whenever you're speaking and you say maybe you have a new idea, you can follow up on that and you can explain it a little more. That's always a good strategy for lengthening time. So Ethan Lee Jr., 33 seconds, Henry, 35 seconds, Selena, 46 seconds, all a little bit under time, but especially since it is your first or second time doing this, it's good practice for future trials of the table topics speeches. Janya had a time of 1 minute and 25 seconds, right within the allotted time, and Andrew had a time of 1 minute 27 seconds. Kara, as our evaluator one, had 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Angelina, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Once again, all very good timing. Even with Angelina's 17 seconds over, that would not account for a DQ in a formal setting. Rachel, as odd counter, had 1 minute and 38 seconds. Eliana had 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And I'm just about to hit 3 minutes now. I just like to quickly say that I really think that these 1 minute functionary reports should probably be lengthened to 1 minute to 2 minutes, since we typically give pretty thorough reports. But that wraps up my timers report for tonight's meeting, and I'd like to hand control back to our general evaluator with a time of 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Thank you, William, for that timer report. And yes, I agree. The functionary reports the time limit should probably be a little longer than a minute because a minute is usually not enough. Now I will be giving my general evaluation of the meeting. I thought today was very on time with everything. We're not even at 7 o'clock yet, and we still managed to get a lot done. Both of the speeches had something in common, and they were both very inspiring. The table topics was really enjoyable for all of us, and the evaluations were very constructive. I said constructive again. And overall, I think everything went well today. I have no further comments. Now I will be returning control once again back to Toastmaster Rachel. I have no final comments. I've said it all. It was a good meeting and probably my busiest meeting that I've ever been to in the whole 4 years I've been in this club. I'm quite proud of myself. Now I will be returning control back to someone that isn't me. I will be returning control back to Interim President Angelina.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachel. And also thank you to all of you who participated today. And I really enjoyed all the speeches and table topics responses that everyone gave today. So I have a couple announcements. To start off, I noticed that we had a few guests here that didn't get a chance to introduce themselves. So if you're a guest here and you haven't introduced yourself yet and you want to, please feel free to introduce yourself now. All right, well, if not, there will always be other opportunities. But for now, I would also like to announce that next week we will be having a workshop by director Jude Wang, and she is a Hollywood film and TV director, and she'll be talking about the art of speaking with authenticity and passion. So I encourage all of you to come to the meeting next week to listen in on the workshop because it will be very interesting and I'm sure she will share a lot of insightful advice. Additionally, since we have a lot of new guests here today, if you would like to sign up for one of the roles that you have seen someone have during the meeting, please feel free to email me and I'll put my email in the chat. But I encourage you guys to try a role for yourself because once you start getting more involved with the club, you'll find that it is a very rewarding experience. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Oh, sorry. Before we officially adjourn the meeting, does anyone have any questions, comments, or feedback about the meeting tonight?
I have a question about becoming like a member and not being a guest. So if I would like to, I'm a guest right now, and if I would like to become a member, how would I do that? Like, where would I pay and where would I figure out where to sign up?
Yeah, so I know we are taking payment through PayPal. Caleb, do you want to tell them more about that?
Yeah, sure. So Howard or anyone else, if you are interested in becoming a member, just you can I'm getting the form. You can pay through PayPal, and it's only $20 for 6 months. So it's twice a year. $20 is gonna be the best $20 that you ever spent, and once you send that to us, we'll mark it down, and you'll be officially a member. And then in the form, there's detailed instructions. But if you ever have any questions, you can also reach out to me. And I don't think my email is there, but it's okay. Here it is. I'm adding it to the form. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, please reach out to me. And once you're a member, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Howard. Yeah.
So if we just pay the $20 and we could become a member? All right, thank you.
But if you want to try it out, you can still take a role even if you are a guest. So again, the official date when we're supposed to collect our membership fee is going to be on June 1st, but we're still a month away. So if you would like to take a role anytime in between and just try it out, you're welcome to do that, and email Angelina like she just mentioned.
Yeah, and I'll put my email on the document too, just in case. So with that all said, if no one else has any questions or comments, I will officially adjourn the meeting at 7:02 p.m. Pacific time. So thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you all next Wednesday for the workshop.
Thank you.